January 15th is more than a birthday. It marks the arrival of a man who would confront one of the most violent systems in history without ever raising his fist. Number 1. On January 15th, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia, Martin Luther King Jr. was born into a nation divided by law, hatred, and fear. Few could have imagined that this child would one day shake America's conscience using nothing but words, courage, and discipline. King grew up in a country where segregation was not just common, it was enforced. Separate schools, separate buses, separate lives. As a young boy, he experienced the pain of being told where he could go, where he could sit, and what he could dream. That injustice planted a question that would follow him for the rest of his life. How do you fight a system built on violence without becoming violent yourself? His answer was not easy, and it was not safe. Guided by his Christian faith and inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, King committed himself to nonviolence. Not because it was passive, but because it was powerful. He believed peaceful resistance could expose injustice so clearly that the nation would be forced to confront its own reflection. Nonviolence, for King, was not weakness. It was discipline under fire. That belief was tested when he emerged as a leader of the civil rights movement in the 1950s and 1960s. During the Montgomery bus boycott, King helped organize ordinary people to stand together against unfair laws. They were threatened, harassed, and attacked, but they did not give in. The boycott succeeded, proving that unity and persistence could challenge even deeply rooted systems of oppression. As King's influence grew, so did the danger surrounding him. He was arrested multiple times. His home was bombed. His phone was tapped. He received constant death threats. Yet he continued to march, speak, and lead, knowing that each step forward could be his last. He understood the cost of leadership, and he paid it daily. In 1963, standing before the Lincoln Memorial, King delivered the "I Have a Dream" speech, a moment that would define a movement. He spoke of a future where people would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Those words were not just hopeful, they were demanding. They challenged America to live up to ideals it had long promised but failed to deliver. King's leadership helped push the nation toward real change. The Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act reshaped American law. In 1964, he became the youngest person at the time to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Yet recognition did not bring peace. The pressure intensified, the threats multiplied, and the danger never faded. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968, but his voice was not silenced. His message still confronts America with uncomfortable questions about justice, equality, and courage. January 15th, 1908. Another man was born who would change the world forever. His ideas would shape war, power, and fear. His name was Edward Teller. Some call him a genius. Others call him dangerous. But no one denies his impact. Edward Teller was extremely intelligent from a young age. He loved science and numbers. His sharp mind quickly set him apart from others. As he grew older, he focused on physics. He believed science could solve big problems, but he also believed science could protect nations. During World War II, Teller moved to the United States. He joined a secret program to build nuclear weapons. The goal was simple but terrifying. Build the bomb before the enemy does. Teller worked with top scientists during this time. For many scientists, the atomic bomb was already too powerful. But Teller thought differently. He wanted a stronger weapon, a weapon beyond imagination. He believed more power meant more safety. This belief would define his entire life. Teller pushed for the hydrogen bomb. This weapon was far more powerful than the atomic bomb. It could destroy entire cities in seconds. The explosion would be impossible to control. To Teller, this power was necessary during the Cold War. Not everyone supported Teller. Many scientists feared what he was creating. They believed these weapons could end humanity. Teller argued constantly with other experts. One famous conflict was with Oppenheimer. These fights split the scientific community. Some people saw Teller as a hero. They believed he protected the United States. Others saw him as reckless and dangerous. They believed he pushed science too far. Teller did not back down. He believed fear was a tool for peace. Edward Teller advised United States presidents. He influenced military plans for decades. His ideas shaped national defense policies. He believed strong weapons prevented war. Even critics admitted his influence was massive. His voice carried weight at the highest levels. Teller's life raises uncomfortable questions. Should science have limits? Should humans build everything they can? What happens when intelligence ignores consequences? These questions still matter today. Teller forced the world to face them. Edward Teller was not a simple man. He was brilliant and frightening at the same time. Two well-known persons who died today. January 15th marks the death of a man who forced America to see war as it truly is. On January 15th, 1896, Matthew Brady died. But the images he captured changed how the world understood conflict forever. Before Brady, war was imagined as heroic and glorious. Paintings and stories showed victory, honor, and pride. Brady shattered that image. With a camera instead of a pen, he revealed what war actually looked like. He followed armies into danger. He entered battlefields after the fighting stopped. He photographed wounded soldiers, ruined cities, and bodies left behind. When these images were shown, the public was stunned. For the first time, Americans saw war exactly as it was. Raw, silent, real. Brady's photographs transformed journalism. He did not just document events. He confronted people with them. War was no longer distant. Families saw faces that looked like their own sons and brothers. The battlefield suddenly felt close to home. Yet Brady paid a heavy price. His devotion to recording the war drained his money. His work was not fully valued while he was alive. He died nearly broke, long before the world understood what he had given it. Today, Matthew Brady is remembered as the father of photojournalism. January 15th stands as a reminder that truth is powerful, uncomfortable, and impossible to ignore once it is seen. Most mob bosses were loud, violent, easy to spot. Meyer Lansky was different, and that's why he was dangerous. For decades, U.S. law enforcement chased him. They watched him. They investigated him, and almost never caught him. Lansky wasn't a killer. He was a calculator. Known as the mob's accountant, he helped build the financial backbone of American organized crime. While others fought turf wars, Lansky connected crime families, moved millions through gambling operations, and kept the money clean enough to survive scrutiny. His power didn't come from guns. It came from understanding the system better than the people trying to stop him. What made Lansky terrifying wasn't what he did, it was what he avoided. Despite decades of FBI pressure, he escaped long prison sentences. Some agents believed he was untouchable. Others believed the system simply wasn't built to catch someone like him. In 1983, Meyer Lansky died a free man. His story forces an uncomfortable truth. History isn't shaped only by heroes or villains in the spotlight. Sometimes it's shaped by the quiet figures who learn how power really works and stay invisible while using it. Like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel this day in America.